project lead, and we are excited to talk exactly, walk you through what this project is about and all of the specifics. So, Jarrod, would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. My name is
Hmm.
Jarrod McGee. I'm an exploration geologist. I've been doing South Louisiana, working South Louisiana for the last 23 years, doing exploration along the Gulf Coast, drilling oil and gas exploration wells. I've drilled over 50 wells in my career and have over a 70% success ratio.
Hmm.
This particular prospect is actually even a higher success potential than that, based
Hmm.
off the characteristics of the prospect.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, Jarrod, what is an overview of this Mando prospect?
Mando, we're looking for other wells that are produced in the area and trying to using as analogs to our prospect. We have an amplitude with AVO, which means that we're able to see the hydrocarbons underground using 3D seismic, and
Hmm.
that kind of helps reduce the risk of the prospect, identifying the characteristics of the prospect and the size of the prospect. And then we take that information and we kind of go out there and we lease the prospect if I think it's a good idea,
Hmm.
and then we go find partners for the prospect.
Okay. So you're telling me, based on your knowledge of wells in the area, you were able to do, 3D imaging and get a sense of this particular prospect.
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
we're able to look at all of the wells that are produced in the area and look for similar characteristics between what the signature is for those wells and our
Hmm.
prospect using the 3D characteristics of amplitude versus offset, which is
Oh,
basically imaging under the ground, probably about 2.5 miles, 2 to 2.5 miles under the ground, imaging with 3D seismic.
okay. So what is your role within this Mando prospect and your key responsibilities going forward?
I was the prospect generator, therefore I found the idea. I came up with the idea, and then I worked the survey. I've been working this particular area for several years, and
Hmm.
so I'm very familiar with the trend in this area. And I just have a lot of knowledge in this particular region about the prospect and the
Okay.
other wells that are produced in the area, and what the characteristics of those other wells that are produced are.
I see. Okay. And so tell us a little bit about the parish in Louisiana where the Mando prospect is.
It's in Lafourche Parish. I recently drilled a well with Sulphur River Exploration out of Dallas, Texas. We found about 100 over 100 feet of net pay, and that well's currently being waited to be hooked up, but the reserve estimates are very very promising, and we're currently moving forward with hooking up a pipeline and getting that well on production. So
Wow.
that's one recent discovery I had in Lafourche Parish. I've had several other discoveries in Lafourche Parish. I drilled some wells with LLOX out of Mandeville, Louisiana, and had a discovery there with them in Lafourche. And I've also had some wells drilled with Manti Manti Resources out of Corpus Christi, which is down in Corpus Christi area,
Hmm.
and then also with Walter Oil and Gas out of Houston, Texas. So I've had a lot of experience in this particular area of Lafourche Parish.
Wow. Wow. That's exciting. Okay. So what challenges do you see involved in the Mando prospect, and how will they be addressed?
So we're going to head out there. We're going to get the well. Right now, we're in the process of getting the well permitted, so that way it's drill ready. We're currently looking for investors to come in this project,
Mhm.
and to participate at a working interest level, and to help fund the project. After that, we will go out there. Like I mentioned, we've started the permitting process. We've already had the unitization done on the project. This well is on dry land, actually, so it's actually going to be pretty easy to get to. You can
Hmm.
literally get in your car and drive out to the location and
Hmm.
drill and see where we're actually drilling at from the road. There's near Cutoff, Louisiana.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so what's the larger point of contact, or contact?
It's Cutoff, Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Yes. And so what would be a larger city that some listeners might be familiar with?
Oh yeah, it's kind of south of Lafayette, south directly, pretty much south of Lafayette, south of Baton Rouge, and pretty near the coast of kind of
Okay.
the coast of Louisiana,
Okay.
Gulf Coast. Yeah.
All right. And what is you're with New Horizon Oil and Gas? What is New Horizon, and why did you form this organization?
New Horizon is a company I started in 2008, and I was worked as a geologist with Houston Energy from 2008 as well till 2020. And then in 2020, I branched off my own, and New Horizon became kind of my primary focus of business. And I'm still partners with Houston Energy on this particular project. Um, I work 3D seismic as a consultant through Houston Energy,
Mm.
and they and that's how I'm able to come up with these projects is because I'm a partner with those guys and been knowing those guys for several years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, what would the timeline look like for potential investors and other interested parties in the Mando prospect? What does the timeline and milestone horizon look like?
Okay. Our goal is to have the project fully funded by November 1st of 2023. Then
Hmm.
we'll probably take 4 to 6 months to get the permit. So we expect the probably first quarter next year spud date. And after we spud the well will probably take 45 days to drill.
Hmm.
And then once we get the results of the well, that's when we determine whether we're going to move forward after we have a discovery or just find out the results of the well. And then we have some decisions to make. If
Wow.
we have a
Okay.
if we have a commercial discovery, it'll then take us probably another 4 to 6 months to get that well online. That means producing.
Mm-hmm.
So that means in 4 to 6 months after we drill the well will be producing and flowing to the tanks, and we will be receiving money for the hydrocarbons we found in the Mando Prospect.
I see. Okay. So at that point, investors would see a return on their investment.
Yeah, so it generally takes after the well starts producing, it takes about 2 full months to get your run to do check runs. That's just something to point out as well.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
You don't get
Yes.
yeah you don't get the money like instantaneously. It has to kind of
Hmm.
go through the system of they have to get sold to the gas buyers and the oil buyers, and then we have to get paid, and then it has to go through the operator who's kind of operating the project has to go through his process and make sure everybody's paid out accordingly. So it generally takes about 60 days, 60 to 90 days after you start producing a well to get your first check.
Okay. Nice. All right. So what are the safety measures and protocols, involved in this type of project?
Since Deepwater Horizon, there's been a lot of safety measures that have been put in these rigs um, to make sure everyone is fully safe and capable. That we everyone out there is fully trained. They're all wearing hard hats and steel-toed boots. The goal is not to have a single injury with why the uh, why the project is running.
Hmm.
We're on dry land, so that definitely helps and reduces a lot of risk to any type of issues going on.
Hmm.
Um, and that just makes life a lot easier. This is
Yes.
a
Okay.
practice. This is something that's done every day. There's literally probably 700 to 800 wells being drilled a day in the United States. This is a practice that's done every day. It's not something that's just uh, one time. I
Hmm.
mean, there's literally hundreds of wells getting drilled every single day throughout the
Yes.
U.S.
Okay. Yes. All right. So there are practices and regulations and effectively
Totally.
experienced people involved. And would you tell us about the operator that you selected?
Forza is operating the well right now.
Hmm.
We may have another company come in and operate as well, but pretty much anyone who's going to operate this well will have 20 plus to 30 plus years experience of drilling in South Louisiana, and
Hmm.
they will have the knowledge of how to drill the well at a cost-effective way to make sure we meet our threshold for the cost and we stay
Hmm.
low cost
Hmm.
of the well.
Okay. Wow. And so, what technologies or innovations are being utilized in the Mando prospect? I know you mentioned the 3D um, AVO in the beginning. Anything else that our listeners should be aware of?
Yeah, for drilling the well, I'm not sure if we're going to use water-based or oil-based mud, but we'll probably use oil-based mud and like rotary steerable. So it'll help us drill at probably a faster rate than normal. So that'll help uh, have some of the costs come down along the way.
Oh, okay. How do you plan to manage and optimize the resources, including human resources and equipment for the Mando? Prospect?
We have a team of folks that are all working together currently to get this project